Hey guys, NoBestDrummer here, back with part 22 of my Contempt of Court Let's Play. Last time we finished the trial, I was being stupid and didn't find the most easy contradiction I have ever seen in an Ace Attorney game, whether official or not. I was just being really fucking stupid. And then I got stuck during the investigation phase. I'm going to be getting stuck so often, so I hope you guys are ready for this. This is going to be a rough recording session. Detective, there's something I'd like to ask you. Sure thing, what's up? So far, the evidence found in the Mablethorpe incident all seems to point to Volper. It also seems likely that he had something to do with the Doc's murder, too. Right. I just want to ask you one question, and I want a straightforward, honest answer. Did you kill Cedric Mablethorpe or Perry Docks? That's what you're so concerned about? I thought you already knew by now that... Detective, please, this is important to me. Trust is paramount between an attorney and their client. I need to know that I can completely trust you on this matter. Oh, I see. Then in that case, I didn't kill anyone. I'm innocent. No psyche locks. He looked me straight in the eyes, too. Thank you, Detective. That's all I wanted to hear from you. You mean you didn't trust me in the first place? No, it's just I have to make sure of these things. Oh, fair enough, I suppose. Now then, is there anything you've dug up recently? There is something I want to show Detective Snow from the crime scene. I have to be honest, I was really expecting Psyche Locks to show up there. I wonder if he knows anything about that. Thank you for being straight with me, Detective. Can't have any gays around here. Hey, trust is paramount between an attorney and their client and all that, right? Wow, that was a pretty spot-on impression of me. I know you said that you didn't kill anyone, and I believe you. But there was a witness who says she saw you committing the murder yourself. Oh, the woman who arrested me. She says she saw the moment. Impossible. I already told you I didn't kill anyone. But I know Maggie enough to know that she wouldn't lie about something like this. Maybe she was mistaken? Well, there's only one way to find out. To hear her out at tomorrow's trial. Did she really arrest you single-handedly? Yeah, I thought it was weird, too. What was weird? Officers assigned to prison patrol must be in pairs at all times, and she was on her own. Really? That is strange, but that's not what I meant. I meant, did she really arrest you all by herself? What are you getting at? Are you saying I tried to resist arrest? For your information, mate, I'd say she's perfectly capable of arresting a suspect. I had no reason to put up a fight, you know, because I didn't do it. I wasn't worried either. I believe you'd find out the truth. Tomorrow is the last stretch. Don't let me down, eh? No offense taken. Offense? I just wanted to know what you thought of... I'm stuck behind this glass like some zoo animal and you're showing me tat like that? Oh, sorry mate. I'm just quite wound up at the moment. That's understandable. Oh yeah, your coffee. Detective, about your coffee cup. My mug? You better not have laid even a finger on my beloved mug. I didn't, but somebody else did. Someone else? I want names. Detective, you didn't drink any coffee during the interrogation, did you? Nah, I admit I was too caught in the moment. Good, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but somebody poisoned your coffee. Someone tried to kill me? So Snow had no idea. Maybe we need to discuss this interesting development a little more. You didn't know that someone had put poison in your coffee? No one in the precinct would dare touch my mug, and they know it. And then to even go as far as poisoning it. But how? I had my eye on the mug the whole time. How could someone have put something in it? You said you were concentrating on the interrogation. I have an idea, Detective. There was a small period of time in which somebody could have poisoned your drink. The blackout. Think about it for a moment. That was the only time that nobody in the room could see anything, right? You've got a point there, mate. Yeah, it all makes sense now. Huh? Makes sense? Isn't it obvious? He tried to kill me as well. He? So you're saying that... Yeah, the Tooth Fairy is the killer. Oh, the hilarity. Should probably bring out a certain piece of evidence. Evidence that reveals the identity of this Tooth Fairy. I found this at the scene of the crime. What's that? It's the packet that contained the atroquinine that was used to poison your coffee. I found it under the leg of Volper's chair. do you think? Yes, I bloody well do think. Fault but that no good. But how would a prison inmate get a hold of a packet of poison? Deny you got me there. We even searched him before the interrogation and he had nothing. But it had to be him. Who else? Volper didn't have the poison on his person. Phoenix, we discussed this. It was taped under the table. That probably explained why it was likely to have been taped to the tables under... Yeah, we just discussed that. But that poses a bigger question. Who left it there? Can I present anything else? Oh, yeah, that. Oh, nope. Autopsy report. Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Move out. Go back to the room. Looks like Detective Smith is finished up here. He's probably gone back to the precinct. I should keep my eyes open for him. Yeah, that was me. Ah, thank you very much. Now that the chief's back, I can now go and ask him some questions. Hey, watch where you're going. Detective Smith, where did you come from? Not the world you were lost in just now, that's for sure. It was you who bumped into me. We seem to be crossing paths an awful lot, Detective. What are you doing around here anyway? Looking for me? Actually, I was on my way up to speak to the chief. I see. About the prisoner transfer, no doubt. It's probably best that I come with you, too. As it's your first meeting with the chief, you might need some education. Education? On what exactly? On how to behave around him, of course. Don't you know anything? Wait, what am I saying? You don't know him, do you? What are you talking about? Why do I need to be told how to behave around the chief? The chief is unpredictable, to say the least. He has virtually no patience with a huge temper to boot. Say the wrong thing and you'll live to regret it. Come on, can he really be that bad? Wait, why are you wasting time chit-chatting to me? We shouldn't be keeping the chief waiting. He'll be furious. I agree, talking to you is a waste of time. Damn, Phoenix! Lead the way, Detective. He's not gonna like this. This is Gant's office. This is not the chief's office. It's freezing in here. I can see my own breath. Cold in here, huh? That's the strangest quirk about the chief. He thrives in the cold. He's practically a walking popsicle. So as you can see, he's taken to turning this office into his own winter wonderland. Did you also know that the only way he'll ever leave this office is if the whole building itself is at maximum of 50 degrees Fahrenheit? That's the highest temperature he'll dare to face. Every air conditioner in the precinct is switched on just so that he can leave? He refuses to be in the warmth. He practically lives in this office during the warmer months. I understand his predicament, actually. I'd be driven mad if I had to live in here 24/7. I don't really understand. Why does he surround himself with the cold? Maybe he was raised by penguins or something. How should I know? This just gets better and better. Now that I think about it, I haven't been in this office for quite a while. Oh, it is Gant's office. Chief of Police just changed. This was Damon Gant's office, the former Chief of Police. But it looks like the current chief has added some personal touches. Namely his beloved air conditioners, which are producing a constant buzzing noise. This whole room sounds and feels like being in a Holy shit! Mr. Wright, I presume. Whoa, what's with this guy? His voice is so low and missing, he sounds like he's on the verge of going ape. I asked you a question. I suggest you answer it. Fairly sharpish. Phoenix, answer him, quick. Yes, I'm Phoenix Wright. Were you aware that my office is strictly off-limits to outsiders, Phoenix Wright? And I don't like outsiders. Not one bit. You invade my personal space with your body heat polluting the air like a rancid smell. I assume you have a very good reason for doing so. My teeth are chattering like crazy. But the temperature in here isn't the only reason. Do you know what I like to do with outsiders, Mr. Wright? No, sir? What? What? Introduce myself, of course. Huh? Oh, what the hell is that name? Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude, Chief of Police, at your service, gentlemen. Ha 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 ha. Don't ask questions, just laugh along. Laugh. Ha 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 ha. What's happening? Am I being pranked? So what can I do for you two gents today? Well, I wanted to... Oh, where are my manners? Come, follow me to the desk and take a metaphorical seat. Just stay standing. There are no seats. I know what metaphorical means. What a strange guy. He's starting to remind me so much of... Yeah. Now, what brings you to my neck of the woods, Mr. Wright? I'm a very busy man, and if you end up wasting a microsecond of my time... And just like that, he's turned deadly serious again. I have some questions to ask you regarding the two most recent murders, Mr. Frood. Murders, I see. Well, you better get on with it, man. To answer your first question, I am aware of the two recent murders. And as I understand it, you were the lawyer defending that lazy lug of a detective. Yes, that's right, and no doubt you have something to ask me. I choose my next words very carefully if I were you. Just kidding. I'll be happy to answer anything on your mind. Okay then, well first, but seriously, I hope you aren't throwing the blame around a little too freely. No, I just wanted to know about something. The trial for the murder of Maplethorpe took place earlier today, Mr. Frood. And in court we were informed of something quite strange. Strange, you say? Do continue. Apparently there was a mass transfer of prisoners from Block A of the prison, not too long before the murder of Maplethorpe occurred. Only you must have authorized such a thing. Hold on, I'm gonna try and change his voice. I don't think it's deep enough, or like imposing enough. That's correct. I order the transfers myself. But why move every inmate except Vulper and Maplethorpe? If that's an okay question? Of course, don't be silly. Now how can I put this? Those two were an interesting pair of freaks, to say the least. They were a threat and a bother to the other inmates. So out of the goodness of my heart, I distributed them all amongst the other cell blocks, to keep them distant from those two ne'er-do-wells. I can assure you, Mr. Wright, I have a very small place in my heart for those lowlives. Vulper is certainly down there with the lowest of the low, but what did Maplethorpe do to be considered as dangerous as Vulper? And, yeah, anyway. Chief, I think Phoenix wants to know more about why you moved all the prisoners, right? Did Detective Smith just try to silence my question? Well, Mr. Wright, what's your concern with the transfer? It must have been a pretty hefty and time-consuming task moving all those prisoners. Surely it would have been more convenient to just move Maplethorpe and Vulper themselves. Perhaps move them into solitary cells instead of... Strange. For a moment it sounded like you were questioning my decision. Newsflash, I'm the chief of police. I call the shots around here. And what I say goes. Understand? Relax, I'm just kidding. But seriously, let me summarize what I mean in one simple sentence. Had I known about what those two were about to become involved in, I wouldn't have organized the transfer. Happy now? Not really. I wonder if Chief Frood knew about the murder before he organized the transfer. Is there anything you can tell me about the two crimes, Mr. Frood? A lonely prisoner and a third-rate officer, both dead. I couldn't care less about what happens to mere dregs of society, Mr. Wright. Holy shit! Even your subordinates are classed as dregs? I was hoping for more information on what actually happened. My apologies. You're unclear on that. You should reconsider your wording in the future. Sorry? Anyway, information?
Once I heard what had happened, that Volper had murdered the other prisoner next to him. I felt that I shouldn't have transferred those prisoners, as they would have served as solid witnesses.
Witnesses?
Think about it, man. If Block A was still full of prisoners, they'd have been right there to see the murder. And I'd already moved them all, if only I hadn't.
The other prisoners could have been potential witnesses if they hadn't been moved. Yeah, I can't exactly move, so I should just examine stuff, I guess. There's a large air conditioning unit sat on the desk to the left side of the room. It's producing a droning buzz that echoes around the office. It's set to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Just how cold does the chief want it to be? A large but fairly empty bookcase. There's also some kind of paperweight on the top shelf, and a safe nestled on one of the lower shelves. So yeah, that safe looks familiar. A pair of stone pillars situated on either side of the chief's desk. They look pretty out of place with the rest of the room. Looks like the current chief has situated his desk in the center of the room, where Chief Gant's pipe organ used to stand. Oh look, another air conditioner. This one sat on what used to be Chief Gant's desk. A large grandfather clock sits in the corner of the room near the window. Wasn't that where the suit of armor that killed Near Marshall used to stand? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything different, so I guess I should present stuff now.
What's this?
Would know anything?
Would you like me to tell you what I do know, Mr. Wright? That I don't appreciate my precious time being wasted by a heat breather like yourself.
Heat breather? That's what he calls normal people like me. People who pollute the sanctity of his humble domicile. Humble, huh? That's rich. Normal people like you? I don't know what to do now, but you're so imposing. Oh boy, this failure conversation is going to go on for a while. What about Detective Smith? No. Try evidence again. Maybe he'll care about the autopsy report. No, he's not going to care about that. Maybe I forgot to examine something? No. I'm gonna look at the guide. Okay, so I present Paradox. Is there anything you can tell me about the victim, Mr. Frood?
That officer, a strange man indeed.
Strange? What do you mean?
He hasn't been an officer for long, only a mere 2 weeks. I don't recall ever seeing his face around the station before then. The man just seemed to appear out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere? That's interesting. Can't even talk about that. What about snow? What about Volper? What do you know about Volper?
That face, that hair, that smug grin. There's not one thing I don't despise but that slap-happy waste of space and time. In fact, take it away. I can feel the bile rising in my throat. Take it away, I say!
Yeah, done. But is there anything else you can tell me about?
He did it. That's your guy. He's the one responsible for these atrocities. I can tell you this with the utmost confidence.
Now we can add Chief Frood to the It Was Volper list. Guess he's right, though. It could have only been him, as the transfer proves. Phoenix, I think we should be going now. The Chief has his golfing thing soon, and we need to clear out.
Oh, of course, the golfing session. I'd completely forgotten.
Golfing session?
Golf is a real passion of mine. There's a major tournament coming up later in the month in which I mustn't pass out on.
Miss out on? Holy shit, I can't speak.
But until then, I have to get more practice in. You will both excuse me.
Oh, of course. Thank you for answering my questions, Mr. Frood.
Think nothing of it. Anything to help. Now, you can show yourselves out.
That's our cue. Let's go. So, was your chat with the Chief of any use to you? He seemed straightforward in letting us know that he was responsible for the transfer. But as I said, it still makes no sense as to why you didn't just move Volper and Maplethorpe. The only reason he gave was pretty much because I said so. That is true, but I guess that's the Chief for you, as predictable as the weather. You can't really fault the Chief for what happened, can you? What do you mean? You heard what he said. He didn't know that a murder was going to happen. He regretted moving those prisoners ever since he heard about it. I suppose, but it still sounds like too much of a coincidence. If I were you, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. Between you and me, the Chief is a very bad liar. And I don't think he's lying about this one. What makes you think that the Chief is a bad liar? When he's not being truthful, he tends to turn bright red. Who knows, maybe that's why he surrounds himself with fans and air conditioners? Almost everyone's picked up on it by now, but who's going to say anything to him? What has the Chief lied about in the past that made you notice his habits? Promises about salary raises, electricity bills for his air conditioners, the list goes on. Anyway, the point is that not once did I see him flush. I'd say he's telling the truth. Nip that in the bud. So what's your take now on the Paradox murder? After investigating the interview room and seeing the evidence for myself, I'm inclined to believe that it was Volper. Not only was it likely that he stabbed the victim with... Holy shit! Not only was it likely that he stabbed the victim with a knife on the table, but there's reason to believe that he tried to kill Detective Snow as well. The evidence sure seems to point the finger of blame at him. Do you have the information you need to know for sure it was Volper? Not yet, but I'm hoping I'll be able to uncover some more info in tomorrow's trial. Planning to use the element of surprise to put him on the spot. Oh yeah, don't forget about the witness too. She says she knows what she saw, and it doesn't make the Snow look good. Maggie, I know she wouldn't lie. Just what did she see? I guess there's only one way to find out. Tomorrow is the final day, when the truth will finally be revealed. Did you really do it? What do you know that we don't? What I do know is that tomorrow you will either be continuing your life sentence or be sentenced to death. To be continued. I've only been going for 25 minutes. I can continue, I think. There you are. I've got something for you. Snow wanted me to give this to you. What is it? How should I know? Read it. You know, that was all you had to do. Now let's see, what does this say? After the lights came back on and I saw the body, panic took me and I ran out of the room to report the murder. I was arrested immediately. This is what Detective Snow was telling me yesterday in the detention center. Yep, and now you have it in written form. It must be your birthday today or something. Talk of the devil, here comes Snow now. I'll leave you to your pep topic or whatever it is you do at this point. Hey mate, how's it going? I'm fine, Detective. How about you? Nervous, I have to say. Guess you won't know until you're in my place. I do know what that's like, actually. Twice I've been in the defendant. To be honest, I think we're in a spot of luck. Yesterday's investigation revealed some pretty conclusive results. Oh yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Today's trial shouldn't be too much of a challenge, then, eh? With Volper around, I wouldn't bet on it. Court is now in session for the trial of Robert Snow. Are the defense and prosecution ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. What the fuck? What are you doing here? Hey, I'm supposed to say that. Sorry, mate. Couldn't resist. I take it the defense is ready in any case. Mr. Brisbane, are you also ready to begin?
Why do you always bother asking me this, Judge? Of course I'm ready. What's my other option? To stand here and watch Mr. Wrong win?
It's not like that's ever changed anything. Very well. The prosecution is also ready. Now then, would you care to inform the court of the circumstances surrounding this case, and how it is connected to yesterday's crime for which Mr. Volper is being held?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all remember yesterday's trial for the murder of Maplethorpe, and how Vex Volper is so far the most likely involved person to be the perpetrator. Well, it seems that once his two arresting officers discovered the body, they took him to one of the interview rooms for interrogation. It is there that, for whatever reason, one of the officers killed the other. The murdered officer is Perry Docks, the victim, and the killer, the one who committed the atrocity, was the man by the defense's side, Detective Robert Snow.
I see. Detective Snow, is this true? Did you really kill your fellow officer in cold blood? Why should I answer that when we know full well that my words will fall on deaf ears? My hearing is perfectly fine, you know. Thank you. I meant that my plea alone won't make you think I'm innocent. Which I am. Today's trial will speak for itself, so let's get this show on the road, eh?
You sound awfully calm for a murderer. It's almost disturbing.
On many things, Brisbane, but murderer I ain't.
I just knew you had it in you, Snowball. You've been a time bomb. All that pent-up aggression I've seen in your eyes. You finally took it out on the victim.
If you're trying to guide me into being angry, you're barking up the wrong tree. You sound pretty angry to me, Detective. I didn't kill anyone, and today Mr. Wright will prove it, right, mate? And if you do, Mr. Brisbane, show some decorum. Mr. Wright, keep your client under control. Yes, Your Honor. Why do I get the blame? Now then, Mr. Brisbane, whom shall we hear from first?
Well, the detective in charge of the investigation is an obvious start.
Very well, bring in the lead detective. And we'll cross-examine that detective next time.